Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is just going to be a super chilled, chatty kind of video. I have so much to share with you. Yeah, I've left it a bit late. But oh my god, where do I even begin? So I just came back from Bali. I was there for a couple of weeks, and on one of those weeks I went on a silent meditation retreat. So, last silent meditation retreat, you guys might have seen, literally completely shifted my life around, and this one I think has done the same. I booked this retreat knowing that this time in my life is such a big time of change. Like, there's so much change happening, so many big shifts within myself, and of course within myself and in my external world as well. So what's been happening? I've been doing heaps of really deep healing. I've been getting back in touch with my childlike self, been getting back in touch with all the parts of myself that I'd pushed away. I've been spending time with a lover, and I've also made the executive decision to move cities. So I am going to Mullumbimby on July 2nd, and I'm going to be staying house sitting at my friend's house for I think a couple of months, and then after that I've got no plans, but I have a feeling everything is just gonna work out. Like, everything is just working out, and the best case scenario is gonna come through. If you guys follow Activation Vibration, by the way, that is like the best affirmation ever. Everything is working out, best case scenario. Everything is working out, best case scenario. Yes. But anyways, so I bought a one-way ticket over to Byron essentially, and I'm just gonna fuck it up and see how I go. I have a feeling I'm gonna buy maybe a van or a car and just see where it takes me. I've got a bit of savings to be able to do that. Nothing big though. So yeah, I've been saying this for years, just like, I don't feel like I belong in Perth anymore. I feel like I've really outgrown the place, and you know, as much as I still love the place and it still brings me so much joy, it just doesn't hold what I need, and I don't even know what I need, which is the frustrating thing. But I know that it's not in Perth, and I know that, well, it would be in Perth, but of course I think that I need this change to open up something within myself, if that makes sense. So that's that. That's really exciting. I'm literally just like in the process of putting all my shit in boxes or selling half my belongings. You know, even if shit doesn't work out over East, I'm still really happy to give away a lot of my belongings. I feel quite clunky. I feel like I've got too much shit. So maybe I should just become a minimalist or something. I feel like that's where I'm going down. But yeah, I'm just selling a heap of my stuff. Got like markets coming up, gonna sell heaps on Depop. But yeah, I'll get into silent retreat. So the main themes that came up for me in my healing at silent retreat was judgment, jealousy, worthlessness, and blockages. And basically I went into silent retreat and my mindset was just like, I don't know what I need to heal anymore, because I did such deep healing before silent retreat, and I will actually say that right now. So I did some really, really deep healing before silent retreat. Like, I literally uprooted my whole belief system because it was so outdated. So how do I put this into words? So basically, you guys might have seen in my sexual assault video that I mentioned that someone that was in that room had been a big part of my life and still continued to be in my life. So I actually talked to that person about the assault for the first time in my entire life. I brought it up with them. And I told them that, you know what, I don't hold hatred for them like I used to. I forgive them. And there wasn't really anything to be forgive because they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, sort of thing. And this person said back to me, they were just like, it did happen, you didn't imagine it, which is something that I really needed. It did happen, you didn't imagine it, and it was fucked, and I'm so sorry, but I just didn't know any better. Because this person was, if I was 7, this person was 9 at the time. And yeah, I just, having that conversation, opening that up, was like 13 years overdue, you know? 13 years of my life I've just kept that closed up, like, no, they are a part of that too, they caused me pain, they did that, rah, rah, rah. Just this tension that was within me, and I opened up the conversation and I was like fucking shit scared, but it was just the most chilled conversation ever, and I just said to them, I was like, look, did this happen? And just having that closure, I think, is just so good. So good. I'm gonna tear up as well. So good. Just what I needed. Like, yeah, and ever since then I just have been really reevaluating a lot of my outdated belief systems and stuff like that. So I had a lot of outdated views on men about how they were always out to get me, you know, and that's not my fault that I had that belief. And it was a small and subtle belief, but it was definitely there, and it did project outwards, I think, with a lot of my mannerisms, I guess. But yeah, that's just something that I'm really glad I've lifted. My whole masculine side now is just like, my whole view of the masculine has been kind of turned around and is opening up all these new doors, and it's really beautiful thing, so I'm really glad I healed that. So yeah, in retreat, I went in there and I was like, well, what do I have left to heal? I don't see any issues that need addressing. Am I just gonna chill out? What's gonna go on? So I got there, and naturally higher self just slapped me into place. So I started meditating, and the first thing that came up, I mean, there were a lot of really deep, beautiful, peak, potent meditation experiences that I had where I got to actually feel my soul, I got to feel my energy and what it feels like for other people. Wow. I got to experience the kingdom of the heart, open that up. But anyways, we're talking about that shit. Push that away, bring it back up. So, where was I up to? Oh yeah, so the first kind of deep issue that came up was worthlessness. Like, I got fucking slapped in the face. Like, I was doing this meditation and I was just like, oh, why can't I just meditate? Because it was just like all this like random shit coming up, and I was just like, none of this is useful, none of this is helping me heal, huh? Why is this coming up? Why can't I just, you know, blah, blah, heal it and everything? So then I came out of that meditation, and all of a sudden I just sunk back into my body, and I just felt like a piece of shit. Like, I felt like absolutely worthless, like I was worth nothing on this earth, like I should have just died, like no one wanted me around, like I wasn't helping anyone. We went and had breakfast after that meditation, and I love eating, by the way, I love eating. But I went to go to breakfast and I just couldn't eat. I couldn't put anything in my body. I was just like, I can't even look at that. That's disgusting. Like, I'm disgusting. I can't even, you know. So I sat in a corner and just bawled my eyes out, just crying. Like, just cuddled up like this in the corner for like a couple of minutes, like maybe 10 minutes. And then eventually I was like, Freya, stop being a fucking baby. Just go and eat some food. So I had like 2 dry pieces of bread, and I was eating them, and as it was like going into my body, I was like, I don't even deserve to be eating this bread right now. And it was okay, I'm joking about it now because I like to look on the lighthearted side, but it was really fucking intense. I dealt with that in my following meditation, which was very interesting. So during this meditation, I was like, okay, why do I feel worthless? And I was just like placed inside like an energy body, energy dome kind of thing. And I saw that I was taking everything from up here and I was putting it here, putting it here, putting it here, putting it here. And I noticed myself starting to have some bad thoughts, and it was like, you're not good enough, or something random like that. And I'd be like, here, it's in here, it's mine, it's in here now, in this spot here. And I just said to myself, I was like, okay, we're accepting this, we need to accept this. So I accepted it, and then I was like, well, now I'm just gonna stop putting all that in there. And all of a sudden it was like these thousands of memories just started like pouring out of me. Like, the only way I can describe it is like, the only way I can describe it is like, you know, when you fart or burp and you feel like air coming out of you. It was like that, but with a stream of memories. So I did like a energetic stomach fart thing. Don't know. But yeah, that's what was happening. And then I realized that I was kind of just making my own problem for myself. I was making my own energy blockage. Like, I was just, you know. So I stopped doing that. I was like, let's just cut that out. A couple of other things that came out because of that same issue was jealousy and judgment. And I realized that I've been comparing myself to other women my entire life to this day. And I was just like, why the fuck? Like, am I doing that? But that initial frustration that I felt actually pushed me further back from healing it, because the more I grew frustrated with how I was feeling jealous towards other women, the more it would be like, well, I'm just going to push it down instead of dealing with it. Because I don't want that as part of me, I'm just going to push it down. But really, the only thing that I needed to do was say to myself, I understand that when you were younger, you didn't feel like anyone loved you or valued you. So you looked to other people who you felt were valued and tried to become more like them and tried to compare yourself to them so that you could become more like them, so that more people and more love would come to you. I accept that, and that's okay. A lot of people do that too. All I needed to say to myself was, I accept that and I love you regardless, because I see what's underneath that. And I see that it was just that you felt unloved. But guess what? I love you now. You know? That's all that needed to happen. So yeah, I did that. And yeah, the last thing that I want to talk about meditation retreat was the kingdom of the heart. So you might have heard people talking about meditation before and saying the universe is within you, everything's within you, and I've definitely had those experiences before as well. And I feel like this new meditation retreat opened up a new chapter of that level as well, because when you drop into the heart, you realize that it is indeed infinite. Like, you think you've gotten to like God consciousness or something because your heart is so open and you're in there and you're like, can't get any better than this. But then you go a layer deeper and it's just even more mind-blowing. So I got to this point in my heart where I felt like I was just sitting, I was in a garden, kind of. It's hard to describe, but I dropped really, really deep into my heart, and all of a sudden I was in a garden. I couldn't physically see the garden, but I could see the energy of the garden, and I could hear the birds, and I was walking around the garden, and I just felt like the most gracious queen ever. And when I was in this spot, it was just pure light, just pure bright, bright, bright light. And it was huge. It was encompassing. My whole existence was that. And I was kind of just in it, and I was like, as if this is fucking within me all the time. Like, this is wild. And yeah, so I call that little spot the kingdom of the heart. And you've got it in you too. Everyone does. And the more that you open your... I was talking to a friend the other day about this, and I said to her, let's bring it in. I said to her, when you feel love in your life, it is because your heart is open. Therefore, you can create this level of love for yourself through all things that transcends anything that happens to you, because your happiness is not dependent on outcomes. Your happiness is dependent on how well you can tap into your heart and bring that out. So what I was saying to her was like, this kingdom of the heart feeling. Have you ever, it's hard because I can't like have a conversation with you, I'm just like projecting. But have you ever been like at a music festival or something and you just all of a sudden you're overcome with this like, holy shit, I'm alive, this is amazing, everything is good. You're just like super elated. And this is not like to do with drugs or anything. This is just open, so open. And that feeling is love, essentially. And basically, when you tap into the kingdom of the heart, you have an endless supply of that shit in here, you know? And when you go through periods of depression or mental illness, and this is just a theory of mine by the way, your heart closes. And because you are trying to protect yourself, you're like, no, I'm out, I'm shut out. And the more you shut, oh, I need to get that out again. And the more you shut that out, the less love that there is in your life, because you're not open to seeing it, you're not open to experiencing it. But the more you just drop in and listen to your heart, the more slowly it'll just open again. And this is why people, yeah, that's a whole nother rant for a whole nother time. I'm trying to keep this short. I'm trying to just do a life update video for you. Come on. So yeah, essentially I had this crazy meditation, and as I came out of the kingdom of the heart, I was just walking around and I felt like I was on DMT. Like I was just walking around everywhere and I was like, I've never been so high in my life. Like this is incredible. And I kind of had this realization that that's within me always. That's within me always, and I forget that sometime, and you know, that's pretty normal to forget because we're programmed to believe that we don't have this within us. So there's so much more that I really want to share with you all, but that is another part of the life update. I'm going to be starting to make podcasts so I can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk for as long as my heart desires and go wherever I want as well. I feel like YouTube is limiting me in that aspect, so I'm really excited to start a new platform where I feel like I'm sharing more authentically. Yeah, so that's the life update essentially. I don't think I have much more to tell you, but I'm really excited for where I'm going, and for those of you who have been asking how I'm doing, so fucking good. So good. There's always shit that comes up, always bad days, always rough days, but what I'm currently focusing on is not attaching myself to those and just tapping back in here whenever I feel like I'm, you know, lacking love. Yeah. Very excited for the life that is to come. I feel like I'm transitioning into womanhood, which is also really weird. I'm like, eh. But yeah, no, nothing else to say in this video. I hope that you are all thriving and living your best lives and being your best selves. I will see you in my next video, and yeah, bye.